And they're off. Very good beginning for Hot Omelet from the outside with Last Glimmer between horses and Night Saber down along the inside. Then we have Ala Turca on the far outside, racing 3 lengths better than the early trailer, Mimi's Holiday. Hot Omelet is allowed to control the early tempo as now Night Saber moves up on the inside to apply some pressure. Last Glimmer dropping down to the inside in third, racing a half length better than Ala Turca and still 3 lengths back to Mimi's Holiday. 23 and 3 for the opening quarter. White cap of Hot Omelet still has a half length on Night Saber, who's racing towards the rail. Ala Turca moving into third, now a length better than Last Glimmer, who's ridden along by Juan Crawford and still 4 lengths back to Mimi's Holiday. Midway round the turn, it's Hot Omelet at 6-5 in control with Mikey David. They open up 2 lengths. Ala Turca trying to range up on the outside of Night Saber. Last Glimmer is next, 47 seconds flat to the half. It's still Mimi's Holiday who's trailed throughout. They make the bend into the stretch, and it's still Hot Omelet looking confident on the front end. She's up by 5 lengths with a furlong to the wire. Night Saber trying to hold second as Ala Turca has stalled. Last Glimmer trying to rally into the show spot, but they're not going to get to Hot Omelet and Mikey David. Hot Omelet, the easiest of victories to open up the day. Hot Omelet wins by 6 lengths for Mikey David. Night Saber second, then Last Glimmer, and a photo for last between Mimi's Holiday and Ala Turca. 6.5 and 118 and 1. And they're off. Losing the rider at the start was Gamble on Love. Zerrell Ford was dismounted coming out of the gate. Speed from the center of the gate for Strike Accord and Kirk Johnson being pressed by Pop Chart to the inside as the loose horse runs into the pack. Then it's a gap of 2.5 lengths to Silent Passion racing on the outside with Rifling towards the rail and Nicole Song at the back. They race into the turn. The loose horse has overtaken the leaders. The pace still being made by Strike Accord, who went the opening quarter in 22 seconds flat. She's opened up 4 lengths like that on Pop Chart, who's sitting second, with Silent Passion a length and a half behind in third. Then well back to Rifling, and Nicole Song has tailed off at the back. They race within the final 2 furlongs and strike the top of the stretch. It's still Strike Accord looking to make all. Pop Chart is in second, trying to hold off Silent Passion to the outside with Rifling towards the rail. Strike Accord is beginning to tire within the furlong pole. The lead is down to 3. Silent Passion moving well down the far outside with Rifling. Final 70 yards, it's still Strike Accord. The cavalry charge is coming, but Strike Accord holds on under Kirk Johnson. Strike Accord over Rifling, then Silent Passion, Pop Chart, and Nicole Song. 5.5 and 105 and 1. And they're off. Mad Dog and Joe broke running from the outside with Fairway to Heaven also looking for some position. Pat's Gamble had to take back there, got in a bit tight along the rail. He's been passed by Lasting Silence. He's racing at the back in a pair with Conn Smythe. They race into the turn, 6 furlongs to travel. It's Mad Dog and Joe and Zerril Ford leading the way a length and a half to Fairway to Heaven and Alexis Sanchez. Good position third on the inside for Lasting Silence with Juan Crawford. Then it's Conn Smythe and Jeffrey Alderson. Pat's Gamble and Steve Jadu trail the field. Mad Dog and Joe didn't get as easy a lead as expected. He's up by 3 parts of a length just off the rail, giving room to Lasting Silence. Fairway to Heaven is out in the center of the course. Conn Smythe saving ground towards the back with Pat's Gamble to his outside. The pace is pretty moderate, 25 seconds flat. It's still Mad Dog and Joe with a short advantage. Now Lasting Silence takes pack, but the pressure is now being applied by Fairway to Heaven, 48 seconds flat to the half. Here comes an advance from Pat's Gamble, who's moved into third, traveling comfortably, and Conn Smythe is the new trailer. Less than 2 furlongs to go. It's still Mad Dog and Joe on top. He leads into the stretch. There's room up the inside for Lasting Silence, if good enough. Pat's Gamble down the far outside. Conn Smythe trying to rally from last. Mad Dog and Joe clinging to the lead. Lasting Silence trying to rally up the fence. Mad Dog and Joe still a short advantage. Coming down to the wire. Mad Dog and Joe holds on. Mad Dog and Joe over Lasting Silence. A photo for show between Fairway to Heaven and Pat's Gamble. Then Conn Smythe. 1:23 and 4. And they're off. They came out in a good line. Sea to Air showing speed towards the inside with Have to Reload widest. Forester Humor and Attestation are also forwardly placed in between horses. From the outside, the pace will be made by Have to Reload and Helen Vanek. Have to Reload is up by a length over Sea to Air and Ishmael Mascara. Pink Silks of Forester Humor now being passed by Attestation to his inside. The opening quarter is 22 and 2. It's Have to Reload in charge, but now Mascara takes Sea to Air off the inside and sticks the neck in front. Quickly puts 3/4 of a length on with 2 furlongs left to travel. It's 5 more lengths back to Attestation and Forester Humor. They turn into the stretch. It's Sea to Air on top. Have to Reload trying to fight back down along the inside. Well back to Attestation in third. Sea to Air clinging to the lead as Have to Reload tries to find another gear. A 16th of a mile to go. Sea to Air and Mascara on top. Have to Reload fighting back. Sea to Air, Have to Reload. Oh, I think Sea to Air just held on. Sea to Air over Have to Reload. Then Attestation. Forester Humor well back. 57 and 4. They're off. Tiernan and Glinton Daddy's Eye both broke well from the outside. Cooler Man racing in third on the outside of Short Story Long with Celentano between horses, and the early trailer is Lawn Rose Gamble. Tiernan has outsprinted Glinton Daddy's Eye for the early advantage. The lead is a length. These two have opened up 5 lengths on Cooler Man, racing alone now in third, 2 lengths better than Short Story Long. Celentano to his outside, and Lawn Rose Gamble still at the back. A fast opening fraction, 21-4. We'll see if they can maintain this pace. It's Tiernan, bet down to 1-2 under Pierre Mailhot, trying to hold off Glinton Daddy's Eye. Cooler Man biding his time in third, off the rail with Short Story Long fourth, then Lawn Rose Gamble, Celentano, the new trailer. They reach the quarter pole, and now Glinton Daddy's Eye comes up the outside and puts the head in front of Tiernan. Cooler Man going to try and rally from third with Short Story Long to his inside. There's a furlong left to travel. Glinton Daddy's Eye with a short lead. Tiernan tired on the inside. Cooler Man and Short Story Long both rallying. Glinton Daddy's Eye is staggering home. Here comes Cooler Man and Short Story Long down to the wire. Cooler Man, Short Story Long, Cooler Man and Steve Jadu. Cooler Man and then, or Short Story Long, then Cooler Man, Glinton Daddy's Eye, Tiernan. 6 furlongs and 111 flat. They're off. Final Run for Love broke well. Hard ridden from the outside is Wolf Beach, with My Math is Correct between horses, intent on that early lead. Princess on a Mission saving ground on the inside of Let's Go Liam. Grand Warrior is 3 deep into the opening turn. Then we have Heard a Ghost, who's found the rail. The early trailer is Zimbabwe. 5.5 furlongs left to travel. The lead belongs to My Math is Correct and Kirk Johnson, being tracked by Wolf Beach and Emil Ramsamy. These two have opened up 5 lengths on Final Run for Love in the pink, racing on the inside of Let's Go Liam. Then it's 2.5 lengths to Grand Warrior, a neck better than Princess on a Mission. Then Heard a Ghost and Zimbabwe still at the back. 23-2 for the opening quarter. My Math is Correct still has the lead. Wolf Beach is still pressing. Now Final Run for Love and Let's Go Liam both descend in the middle of the racetrack. They race into the sunset turn. Grand Warrior trying to rally on the outside of Princess on a Mission, then Heard a Ghost and Wolf Beach at the back. 46-4 to the half. My Math is Correct has shrugged off every challenge thus far. Wolf Beach is still second. Final Run for Love back down along the rail as Let's Go Liam falls out of it. Swinging wide is Grand Warrior and Heard a Beach. Furlong to go. It's still My Math is Correct, being chased by Wolf Beach. Final Run for Love down along the inside. Not today for Grand Warrior. Here's a rally from Heard a Ghost. It's still My Math is Correct. He's up by 2. Heard a Ghost is flying from the back, but he's not going to get to My Math is Correct. My Math is Correct and Kirk Johnson, a gate to wire score by 2. Then Heard a Ghost, Wolf Beach, Final Run for Love, and Grand Warrior. 124-2. Welcome back to Fort Erie Racetrack for another week of thoroughbred racing here at the Border Oval. 6 races on tap today. It's a cloudy day, but currently no precipitation. The main track is fast and the turf is firm with the rail out 6 feet. 25 degrees Celsius or 77 Fahrenheit. Much more comfortable temperatures than what we had last week. So with clearer heads and cooler temps, let's get into today's week of racing. Visit our website, forterieracing.com, for information about everything going on here at the track. Tune into the pre-race show for info about the track conditions, scratches and changes, handicapping, and info about upcoming races and events. Racing is back tomorrow at Fort Erie. Post time will be 4:30. Our next free concert at the Tiki Bar is tomorrow after the races, featuring Cottage Brew. Be sure to come out on Sunday for the fan favorite Wiener Dog races, Sunday, July 12th. Admission, as always, is free. And the dogs come back on August 3rd for the Basset Hound and Corgi races. Fort Foodie Fest returns on Sunday, August 30th, this year sponsored by TELUS Pure Fiber Internet. Be sure to come out for live racing and the Food Truck Festival. The Prince of Wales Stakes takes place this year on Labor Day, September 7th. Also returning this year for Prince of Wales Day is the fashion contest. Best dressed ladies win a gift certificate from Lasting Impressions Lifestyle Boutique in Ridgeway. Fort Erie's Track-A-Lantern takes place on October 12th this year. Starting at noon, kids in costume can trick or treat around the track. Treat your team to an exciting day at the races. It's only $15 per person. The track pack includes 1 food item, 1 drink, and a Fort Erie live racing program. Be sure to book your table in the Turfside Dining Room, open on live racing days. Reservations are recommended. Head down to the Paddock Shack for burgers, hot dogs, sausages, fries, and poutine, plus beer and soft drinks, located near the walking ring. Become a member of HPIBet.com today. Get $100 when you bet $100, plus your first bet is on us. Tune into Your TV Niagara for the Fort Erie Race Replay Show, Channel 70 HD or Channel 100 Epico, Thursdays at 10:30, Saturdays at 4, and Sundays at noon. Jackpot High Five wagering offered in Race 6 today. The carryover is up to $3,900. Smoking is allowed in designated areas only at Fort Erie Racetrack. No food or beverage are allowed in these areas, and no cannabis is allowed on the property. Up next are today's changes. Race 1 is clear. No changes in the first. In Race 2, Vet scratched the number 3, free charging. No show and no superfecta wagering in Race 2. In Race 3, an overweight on the number 2, Summer Snow. The rider will be 3 pounds over at 120. Rider change on the number 3, Benny's Jets. Make the rider Luis Contreras. Correct the weight to 122 pounds. Number 4, Naughty and Nice. 1 pound over at 118. And an overweight on the number 5, Wet and Wild. 2 pounds over at 122. Also scratch the main track only number 8, People Are People. In Race 4, we have a rider change on the number 1, American of Course. Make the rider Luis Reyes. Correct the weight to 124 pounds. Rider change on the number 4, Gamble on Love. Make the rider Steve Jadu. And Stewart scratch the number 6, Traves. In Race 5, we have a rider change on the number 1, Firecracker Fiona. Make the rider Luis Contreras. We also have a rider change on the number 3, Brengan Girl. Make the rider Juan Crawford. In Race 6, we have a rider change on the number 3, Heat Merchant. Make the rider Edgar Zenteno. Overweight on the number 5, Silent Miracle. 1 pound over at 121 pounds. Rider change on the number 6, Quiet Intent. Make the rider Luis Reyes. Correct the weight to 122 pounds. And a corrected weight on the number 7, Mannix. Correct the weight to 122 pounds. 6 races on tap for this Monday card here at Fort Erie. We hope if you've been following Woodbine today that you'll stick around and join us for our 6-race card. Still on the turf, let's take a look at our picks for today's races. Race 1 is the $4,000 claimer for 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 3. We're going 5.5 furlongs to kick off the early pick 4. Field of 5 kicks off the day. My top choice on the outside is the number 5, A La Carte, going for Nick Malini Jr. and Helen Vanek. This one was second best to attestation in a non-4, non-1 of the year on June 14th. Drops in for 4 and gets in against non-winners of 3. I think A La Carte has a good chance to come out on top here. The number 2, Kentucky Bill, looks very live coming down from Woodbine for trainer Billy Theranos. Kentucky Bill was able to win a couple of races for $25,000 as a 2-year-old, but at 3, he has not been able to stack up to the competition. Disappointed for $7,500 last time out. So he's cutting back to a sprint and plunging right in for 4. Juan Crawford has the call. See how he likes the dirt. Then the number 4, Video Evidence, probably going to be the fastest out of the gate here. I think he has a little more speed than Magical Champagne. He threw in a clunker at Mountaineer on June 15th. Now he gets up here. 2 starts back was ran down in deep stretch. He likes it here at Fort Erie. If he gets loose on the lead, he could be tough to catch. Kirk Johnson rides for Julie Mathis. Moving on to race 2, it's an allowance for the fillies and mares, which have never won 2, 5 furlong sprint. Pick 5 wager starts here. We've got a scratch of the number 3, Free Charging, so there'll be no show and no superfecta wagering in the second race. I've gone to the number 2, Charge That Mountain, for Richard Davis and Pierre Mailhot. They claimed this one for $7,500 at Woodbine. Ran her back for $15,000. She ran a good race. She set the pace, but was just second best behind Tanzanite Lily. The dirt's the big question for this daughter of Old Forester, but she could be the fastest out of the gate with the cutback to 5 furlongs. Number 4, Ruthless Action, figures to be a popular choice. She makes her first start of the year here, going for trainer Gary Chidobiak. Kirk Johnson, been riding well. He has the call on this daughter of Passion for Action. Ruthless Action had a start on the dirt last year in the Rondo Bay Stakes. Second best behind Take My Bourbon Neat. So we know she likes the dirt. This is easier than the $25,000 company she was facing at the end of the season last year at Woodbine. So this one definitely makes sense. See if she's ready to go off the layoff. Then the number 1, Mo Argento, disappointed as the favorite in her first start off the bench. Up at Woodbine, that was a $15,000 claimer on June 18th. Now we're facing Allowance Company here. Her only previous start on the dirt was at Colonial, where it was her career debut. She dueled on the lead and gave way to be 4th. Wasn't a terrible race, so I think she'll be fine on the dirt. Could show some speed on the inside, Helen Vanek and Nick Malini. We're on the turf for race 3. It's a starter optional claimer. Going about 5 furlongs, so we have a pretty good quality group here. Field of 7 set to go. On the inside, I'm giving a look to the number 1, Galveston, this 8-year-old for George Newland with Ishmael Mascara in the saddle. I liked Galveston's race here at Fort Erie on June 14th on the dirt. Battled on the lead on the inside. It was a crazy race. Everyone tried to go to the lead and then gave way to be 3rd. Second start off the bench. He's won on the turf at Woodbine before. I know this is tougher than what he faced last time, but his speed figures fit, and I think he'll have a nice, good inside trip. Number 2, Summer Snow. This is a mare taking on the boys. She was able to win at Woodbine for $7,000 on May 2nd, then came back a week later and got in a bit of early trouble and just didn't fire in a starter optional 10 up there. She likes the turf. She can be very quick out of the gate, although in the last couple seasons she hasn't been as quick as she used to be. But if she does break on top, she could be tough to run down. Then on the outside, number 7, Truly Mischief, got caught in a pace battle last week for $8,000, gave way to be 5th. He's another one. He's won on the turf before. I think he's better than that last race. Pierre Mailhot's riding today for Claudia Rabstein.
Race 4 is a 4-claimer for the fillies and mares which have not won a race this year or which have never won 4. 5.5 furlongs the distance. This race kicks off the final rolling pick 3 on the card, and we've got a scratch of the number 6, Traverse. Probably a notable scratch here. I'm giving a look to the number 2, Pop Chart. I like this horse in her Fort Erie debut last week. She chased the speedy Strike Accord and just couldn't really make a dent. Gave way to be 4th. Only got beat 2.5 lengths. It really wasn't a bad race. She's got to start over the surface now. You know, she was racing well in starter allowances and allowance races at Will Rogers Downs in Oklahoma this spring. At 12-1, I definitely think this one's better than those odds. Alexis Sanchez rides for Steve Cathcart. I think your favorites likely to be the number 1 American, of course, for the always deadly Tony Adamo and Icon Racing Stables combo. Kamari Blackett not here to ride. So we have Luis Reyes picking up the mount. He rode a winner at Woodbine yesterday. American, of course, is a nice 9-year-old mare. She's a 9-time winner. Had an easy win here for $4,000 last year. Raced a little bit in the fall at Mountaineer and Mahoning Valley. Now she's come back from refreshing. She doesn't race very often, but she's fast, and she has the ability to win races like this. Definitely a contender. Then the number 4, Gamble on Love. Showed speed last week and gave way to be 6th. That was on June 7th. Sorry, that was for $6,000. So we're getting in easier this time. Kevin Buttigieg sends out this Colebrook Farms homebred, and we've got Steve Jadu picking up the mount on Gamble on Love. The late double kicking off in race 5. It's an allowance race for fillies and mares which have never won 3. 5.5 furlongs the distance. I think it's a pretty good group of 8 mares. I'm looking on the inside, the number 1 Firecracker Fiona, making her second Fort Erie start here for Mickey Neubauer. Luis Contreras going to pick up this mount. Firecracker Fiona, she did not get out of the gate at all on June 21st. It was very surprising because she's a quick horse. She just dwelt at the start. I've got to give her another chance off of that effort. I just know she's got more talent than that. She was, she won for $15,000 at Woodbine. She was second for $25,000. This is not a bad horse. I think if she gets out of the gate, she'll run a competitive race. Moving on, then the number 2, Lysiate. Ran in the long run thoroughbred aftercare stakes on Father's Day. She was 23-1 in that race, dropped back and passed one tiring foe. Really wasn't a bad run. Now we're in a much more reasonable start. Deshaun Bino has gotten familiar with this one. He rode her last year too. She has some ability, and she's getting in a more proper spot. Then the number 3, Brengan Girl. Juan Crawford picking up this mount for Joe Humber. She comes out of the same race that several of these come out of. Speedy Lady, Firecracker Fiona, they all came out of that same June 21st race. She chased the speed and then really flattened out to be 3rd. She only got beat a nose. I shouldn't say she flattened out. Mo Maxey just blew them away. Got nosed out for place by Speedy Lady. This is a back classy horse with some stakes placings to her name. Should always be competitive in a race like this. Final race of the day is a very nice starter optional claimer going about 7 furlongs on the turf. We've got a $3,900 jackpot high 5 carryover. Field of 7, assuming the also eligible, the main track only scratch if we stay on the turf. I'm going with a long shot here on the inside. Gus's Gamble at 12-1 on the morning line. We've got Brian Shane riding for Ken Albu. Gus's Gamble ran a really good race to be 3rd by a length for $6,250 on June 14th over a sloppy track behind a Silent Miracle, who shows up here as a main track only, so he's not likely to... Or no, he's in the body, I'm sorry. Anyways, so ran a good race behind Silent Miracle. Gus's Gamble is definitely a better turf horse. He ran some good races last year. Ran 3rd behind Wilberforce and Jack the Cat, who are both very nice horses in their own right. 7th, but only a length and 3/4 behind Turf and Surf, Dots, Vision, Dragons Brew. This is a very capable turf horse. He draws the inside. He's had 2 starts on the dirt to tighten him up. If he gets the right trip, I could see him pulling off a big upset here. The obvious horse to beat is the number 7, Mannix. Mannix ran too good to lose when beaten ahead by J.P. Hellish on June 7th. Came back 2 weeks later, had a troubled trip from the back, had to weave through traffic, and still blew away the field to win under Kirk Johnson. This horse is just really getting along with 40-year Gary Chidobiak. Has definitely done a good job getting him ready. If he works out a trip from the outside, Mannix, he overcame not having a trip last time, so he's definitely in with a shot to double up. And then the number 4, Fast and Ready. He ran a good race to be third behind Mannix last time. He likes the Fort Erie turf. He ran a good third in the Puss in Boots last year. 4-1 might be a little short for a win bet. He was 10-1 last time, but I would definitely consider him a contender here. Deshaun Bino riding for Danny Wills. 14 minutes till today's first post. Best of luck with all of your wagers, and enjoy your day here at Fort Erie Racetrack.
It's easy to make a bet on HPIBet.com. Follow these simple steps and you'll be betting in no time. First, go to the HPIBet.com website. Sign in to your HPIBet account. Find the track and race you want to bet on. Click on the Place Bet button. Click on the bet type you want to wager with. Click on the amount you want to wager. Click on the horse you want to wager on. Click on the green Place Bet button. Review your bet confirmation information. It's all done. Remember, all this can be done on most mobile devices. Now cheer on your pick to victory.
We kick off another week of racing here in the opener. It's a 5.5 furlong event on the main track. $4,000 is the claiming price for this group and their non-winners of 3 lifetime. It's a pretty competitive event. It's not our biggest field on the card, but I do think there are a couple of horses that could get the job done in here, and it made it tough to land on one for the top pick. I do go to the outside in here, the number 5, A La Carte, who, looking at the body of work this year, will need to take a little bit of a step forward. Has been competitive, just hasn't been able to pick up that win, but is yet to miss the board in 5 starts in 2026. And looking at that most recent effort, it does seem as though the time off served him well. He came back, he tried to roll from off of it. It was second behind Attestation, who I think is just a little bit tougher than this group today. So like the outside draw, I think this gives obviously his rider plenty of options, and we'll see what others decide to do in here. In terms of the speed, there's a couple of horses that want to go. I don't know if there's a ton of speed signed on. So I think A La Carte's going to get the perfect trip in here from the outside. We'll touch upon a couple others. The 2, Kentucky Bill, is a fresh face here to Fort Erie, going to try the dirt for the first time. He is bifrosted, not really worried about the surface. This is obviously a significant drop down in class for him as well. He's a horse that you go back to last year. He was able to score in his second start, which is a maiden optional claimer up at Woodbine. They gave him some time off. He came back to win right again. And then just seems like this year, he hasn't been the same horse. So they're trying to find his friends today. We'll see if that's part of the thing that he needs to do. I think he's going to need to show a little bit more speed as well to be effective here. But I think that will probably be the tactics used here for the connections of Kentucky Bill. So you have to respect him as well. And then finally, the number 4, Video Evidence. Want to talk about him. He's a horse that kind of can maybe make some excuses for some of those efforts. When you look at his body of work this year, he ran fine in his return. Maybe he was a little bit tired. That was down at Mountaineer. He came back. He was in for 12.5. He took a jump up in class and wasn't competitive. Came back in for 4. He raced well. The only race that you kind of read and you're not sure what happened was the effort last time out in the middle of June, where he tried to make his move early like he typically does. He does look to be the speed on paper in here, and he completely backed out of it. That just gives me a sign that maybe something was 100% that day. Like seeing him back just about 3 weeks later, I think that's a positive sign that he hasn't gone to the sidelines for too long. And from a pace perspective, to me, he looks like he goes maybe Magical Champagne as well, but they really have one way to go here with Video Evidence. And looking at his body of work here, he's gotten both of his wins over this main track. So a little bit of tough way here to kick off the Monday program. Don't forget, this is going to kick off our early pick 4 with that 20-cent minimum. Best of luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's first race. Race 1 is a claiming race for 3-year-olds and up, but you've never won 3 races. Going for a claiming price of $4,000. Traveling a distance of 5 1/2 furlongs. Competing for a purse of $15,300. Race 1 offers win, play, show, exactor, 20-cent try, double, 20-cent super, 20-cent pick 3, and 20-cent early pick 4 wagering. Race 1 post parade, number 1 is Palmola's Bet. Chad Lee riding for trainer Steve Cathcart and owner Pan Am Racing. Number 2 is Kentucky Bill. Juan Crawford in the saddle for trainer Billy Theranos and owners Natural 8 Stable and J&B Wright Racing Incorporated. Candace Warwick owns the number 3 Magical Champagne. Alexis Sanchez pilots for trainer Steve Cathcart. Number 4 is Video Evidence. Kirk Johnson in the saddle for trainer Julie Mathis and owner David Mathis. Completing the field, number 5, A La Carte. Helen Vanek riding for trainer Nick Malini Jr. and owner Bruno Shigadans. 3 minutes to post for race 1. Early pick 4 wagering starts here. Less than a minute to post for today's first race. Your current favorite at 6-5 is the number 2, Kentucky Bill. 9-5 support on the number 5, A La Carte. Early pick 4 wager kicks off here in race 1, the first of 6 for a Monday here at Fort Erie Racetrack. 3-2 on a la carte, the number 5, 9-5 on the number 4, video evidence, and 2-1 on Kentucky Bill. As we start loading, the first in will be the Arkansas bred Pomela's Bet with Chad Lee. The mare taking on the boys here, Woodbine Invader Kentucky Bill with Juan Crawford. Magical Champagne with Alexis Sanchez. The Gray video evidence with Kirk Johnson to gate 4. Last in at 7-5 now will be a la carte with Helen Vanek. All set. They're off. Kentucky Bill was out a bit slowly. Juan Crawford hustling him to keep up with the pack. The early lead belongs to Video Evidence, who's already opened up nearly 2. A la carte tracking in second, a half length better than Magical Champagne. Now Kentucky Bill is into 4th, racing in the middle of the racetrack. The trailer is Pomela's Bet. They race within the half-mile marker. It's Video Evidence and Kirk Johnson leading the charge. Second on the outside is a la carte with Helen Vanek. Good position for Magical Champagne with Alexis Sanchez, a length better than Kentucky Bill. Then 4 lengths back to Pomela's Bet and Chad Lee. Midway round the turn, a la carte cruises up and puts the neck in front of Video Evidence. Magical Champagne comes off the inside under a ride. Kentucky Bill has stalled and Pomela's Bet still at the back. They corner and it's a la carte on top, a length to a tired Video Evidence. Magical Champagne trying to rally down the far outside but still has 4 lengths to make up on a la carte. A la carte is up with a comfortable margin in the final 16th. It's a la carte and Helen Vanek under a hand ride. A la carte wins by 4, Magical Champagne second, then Video Evidence, Kentucky Bill, and Pomela's Bet, 104-4. Unofficial in race 1, the winner is number 5, a la carte. Second at 35-1, the number 3, Magical Champagne. Third, number 4, Video Evidence. And fourth, number 2, Kentucky Bill. Unofficial race 1 order, 5-3-4-2. Now back to the winner's circle, the unofficial race 1 winner, number 5, a la carte. A la carte is an 8-year-old bay gelding by Uncle Mo out of Lee Court, bred in Kentucky by Speedway Stables LLC. Ridden to victory today by Helen Vanek, a la carte is trained by Nick Molini Jr. for Bruno Schickedans. That's the first win of the campaign for a la carte, his 3rd lifetime win in 27 starts. Cruises into victory in a winning time, 5.5 in 104-4. Congratulations to the connections of a la carte. Hold all tickets until race 1 is made official. Race 1 is now official. Prices are up. A la carte returns $420 to win, $280 and $210. Long shot number 3, Magical Champagne, second, $10.50 to place $360. Third, number 4, Video Evidence, $210 to show. $2 exact to 5-3, $66 even. The $1 try, 5-3-4, 106.15. $1 super, 5-3-4-2, $244.85. And we'd like to wish a very happy birthday to Kathy, member of the Fort Erie team here. Happy birthday, Kathy, from all of your friends here at Fort Erie Racetrack. We'd like to say thank you to our partners at True Green Professional Lawn Care, who have been helping us keep our grass looking green and lush. And we're proud to partner with Oneida New Holland of Niagara. We'd like to thank them for providing us with a tractor for our racetrack maintenance. Race 2 up next in 19 minutes. We've got a vet scratch of the number 3, free charging. No show and no superfecta wagering in race 2.
Pick 5 time here in the upcoming second. It's an allowance event for fillies and mares, non-winners of 2 life, and they'll go 5 furlongs here on the main track. There is a scratch of the 3 free charging, which does leave us with a very compact field of 4. But kind of looking at it, there's pretty much anyone could win this. I mean, I was going to say 3 horses, but then I really can't disregard the other one as well. So it is a wide open event, even though it's a compact field. And I was curious to see how the betting public would handle this field. On the morning line, you have horses at 8-5, 7-2, 2-1, and 8-1, which I felt like Captain Clutch could actually come down a little bit in price. So I don't think there'll be a huge separation among the 4. When it came down to picking a top pick, I just thought about form here and just keying in on a specific race for the number 4, Ruthless Action, who's now in the barn of Gary Chidobiak, a horse who in that only start here ran exceptionally well, and it was in the Rondo Bay, just second best in there behind Take My Bourbon Neat, who obviously was a speedy type in there, but considering that was her first time on the dirt and she got a 72 buyer, it's just an outstanding number compared to anything else that she's done. And outside of that, she's been a little bit of hit or miss, but she does have some very solid races. I think in terms of trips, she could get a beautiful stalking trip in here where I don't think she needs to be on the lead. I don't think she'll make the lead either, especially with some speed to her outside and towards the inside. I just hope it does set up for her, especially at this distance. It could be a little tricky at 5 furlongs, but I do think she, in some ways, is the horse to beat. Now, the 2, Charge That Mountain, is a horse that was claimed 2 starts back by Richie Davis and the connections here of Jerry Catalano and Victor Nazo, a horse that they stepped up, right? They claimed this one for $7,500. They came back for $15,000, was on the lead, looked like she was going to try to sneak away there, and she came up second best. But I thought it was a good effort. It wasn't a huge field. This is a great spot for her to try the dirt for the first time. I think from a pedigree perspective, I like what I see there on the top side and the bottom side. And she does have a fair bit of early foot. Again, I don't know if she's quicker than the horse on the inside or the outside, but she could get a similar setup here to the number 4, Ruthless Action. And speaking of some of the speed in here, the number 1, Mo Argento, disappointed in that race off the freshening, but probably needed the race. This is a horse that was claimed in October of 2025, went to the sidelines, and then went up to face winners for the first time. Just a lot happening in that first race of 2026. And the good thing is she showed that early foot. She just tired in there. I do think she'll be better on this surface with a race under her belt. That's always a key thing to focus in on. She draws the inside. I don't think you can necessarily get really cute with her. I think you pretty much have to go in here. I do think the outside is going to go as well, but position means everything in a compact field like this, and Mo Argento certainly has some early pep in her step. So as I mentioned, it's not a huge field here to kick off the pick 5, but it's an interesting one where all 4 fillies and mares in here, they certainly have a chance. Best of luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's second race. Race 2 is an allowance race for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 races. Traveling a distance of 5 furlongs, competing for a purse of $25,050. Scratch down to a field of 4, so no show and no superfecta wagering in race 2. Race 2 offers win place, exactor, 20-cent try, double, 20-cent pick 3, and 20-cent pick 5 wagering. Race 2 post parade, number 1 is Mo Argento. Helen Vanek riding for trainer Nick Malini Jr. and owner Bruno Schickedans. Away from parade, number 2, Charge That Mountain. Pierre Mailhot in the saddle for trainer Richard Davis and owners Gerard Catalano and Victor Nazo. Scratch the 3, number 4 is Ruthless Action. Kirk Johnson has the call for trainer Gary Chidobiak and owner William Pozzo. Completing the field, number 5, Captain Clutch, racing for owner-trainer Ken Albu. The rider is Juan Crawford. 3 minutes to post for race 2, start of today's pick 5. Starting gate is moving into position. Not too much time left to get your race 2 wagers in. The pick 5 on today's card kicks off here. Your current favorite, 7-5, is the number 4, Ruthless Action. 8-5 on the number 1, Mo Argento. Be sure to get those pick 5 wagers in shortly. They'll be heading to post. Field for race 2 is behind the starting gate. It is now post time. First to come up will be Mo Argento, looking to give Helen Vanek, Nick Malini, and Bruno Schickedans both ends of the early double. Gate 2 for Charge That Mountain, making her Fort Erie debut under Pierre Mailhot. Ruthless Action with Kirk Johnson, runner-up in last year's Rondo Bay Stakes. The last in will be Captain Clutch and Juan Crawford. All set. They're off. Mo Argento out best towards the rail. Second is Charge That Mountain with Captain Clutch making an advance on the far outside, and a slight steady there for Ruthless Action, who will race at the back of the quartet. It's Mo Argento taking a bit of pressure from Captain Clutch to the outside. Charge That Mountain finds herself in third, now 2.5 lengths off the leader. Ruthless Action has 5 to make up. They race within the 3. The first quarter was 22-1. It's Mo Argento at even money, moving comfortably on the front end. Captain Clutch asked to keep up now from second. Charge That Mountain. Mailhot takes her out to the 3 path, and Ruthless Action skimming the rail at the back. They hit the head of the lane. It's Mo Argento, still moving well on the front end. Asked for a little bit now by Vanek. She takes a peek behind her and sees Charge That Mountain moving into second, but not really threatening. Ruthless Action comes off the inside, but Mo Argento has this well and truly won. It was won at the 8th pole, really. Mo Argento, an easy score. Mo Argento geared down at the wire, then Ruthless Action, Charge That Mountain, and Captain Clutch. 5 furlongs and 58-1. Unofficial in race 2, the winner is number 1, Mo Argento. Second, number 4, Ruthless Action. Third, number 2, Charge That Mountain. And fourth, number 5, Captain Clutch. Unofficial race 2 order, 1-4-2-5. Now back to the winner's circle, the unofficial winner of today's second race, number 1, Mo Argento. Mo Argento is a 4-year-old bay filly by Motown out of Silver Adventure, bred here in Ontario by Jennifer Ludy. Helen Vanek, she's taken both ends of the early double, and the Silks are still spotless with those front-end wins. Also a double for trainer Nick Malini Jr. and owner Bruno Schickadans. Second lifetime win in 9 starts for Mo Argento, who goes gate to wire, completing the 5 furlongs in a time of 58-1. Congratulations to the connections of Mo Argento. Hold all tickets until race 2 is made official. Race 2 is now official. Prices are up. Mo Argento pays $4 to win, $2.40 to place. No show wagering. In today's second race, number 4, Ruthless Action, was second, $2.70 to place. $2 exacta, 1-4, paid $7.90. The $1 try, 1-4-2, $5.05. No superfecta in race 2. The $2 double, 5-1, $13.80. And we'd like to welcome the Great Benjamin Circus, taking place here in the Fort Erie Racetrack parking lot. That's going on from July 9th to July 11th. And we'd like to say a shout out to our partners at All-in-One Legal Concierge. If you have legal hurdles, you can bet on All-in-One. And a shout out to one of our partners, Niagara Rhinoplasty, where Dr. Jeff M. Robichaud practices. That's at 24 Hanover Drive, Unit 5, St. Catharines. Contact info on screen now. Race 3 up next. Plenty of changes. An overweight on the number 2, Summer Snow, 3 pounds over at 120. Rider change on the number 3, Benny's Jets. Make the rider Luis Contreras correct the weight to 122 pounds. Overweight on the number 4, Naughty and Nice, 1 pound over at 118. Overweight on the number 5, Wet and Wild, 2 pounds over at 122. And Stewart Scratch, the main track only, number 8, People Are People, 18 minutes to post.
Race 3, our first turf event on the program. It's a starter optional claiming race here. 5 furlongs is the distance here for colts and geldings. We do have a scratch of the 8 on the outside. People Are People, who was entered for the main track only. And a rider change here on the 3 Benny Jets, make the rider Luis Contreras. So a nice field of 7 here going postward, going to kick off the final pick 4 on the card. And it was tough for me. I wanted to try to get a little creative in here. There's some speed. There's sprint speed. There's maybe 2-turn speed in here. And I just thought it could set up for a horse that might be rolling from off of it. And ultimately landed on the 5 Wet and Wild, who might be a little bit of a crazy pick here on 12-1 on the morning line. But kind of looking at the form this year, came to life 2 starts back, went in for 7,000. I realized that was a dirt race. We saw this one most recently at the beginning of June, where he wasn't able to get going from the back of the pack. He was basically eased out of the event, lost by over 30 lengths, but it was at this level and it was going 7/8. And I think kind of looking at him in here, I don't mind him cutting back. We did see him run fairly well late in the season last year to close, to pick up a piece while sprinting on the turf. And that was my mindset in here. I thought if the pace was really quick and horses sort of stopped on the front end, could he be rolling late? So I do go to Wet and Wild on top. A couple of others that I did find interesting in here. The 2 Summer Snow. This is one of 2 in here for Julie Mathis. And just kind of thinking about the distance, this horse has really one way of going. She wants to be forward. She is going to tackle the boys in here. But you saw the win 2 starts back. She was able to take them gate to wire, going 5/8 on the Tapeta at Woodbine. Her stablemate is not slow, but a horse that typically goes a little bit further. So I think for her, she's going to have that speed advantage. It also benefits her. If you look at Helen Vanek, has had a heck of a start here on the Monday program, sweeping the first 2 races. She'll try to make it 3 in a row here with Summer Snow. And again, you can't get cute with this horse. I think you just use her speed to her advantage. She has a good draw, and that works out for her. But I did talk about there being other speed. I thought the wild card, even though this horse is 9-5 on the morning line, is the 7 Truly Mischief. He's not the wild card from the pace perspective, but it's the turf. I mean, you look at his races as of late, we've primarily seen him on the dirt. He does have a couple of Tapeta efforts up at Woodbine, and they're respectable. He's always felt like to be a little bit more of a dirt horse for me, but I do think the cutback to 5/8 is key. I think he has some back class, and just looking historically at his turf efforts, he's 1 for 13, but go look at some of those races. They're a long time ago, but they were competitive bunches, and he had some nice figures on the turf. So maybe it's just the right recipe in here. He can use the speed, gets the cutback and distance, and maybe comes back to life here on the grass. But it's just a tricky read for me at what I thought could be a little bit of a short price. If he floats up from that 9-5, I think that's where he becomes a little bit more interesting, but I will use him underneath. And like I said, I get a little crazy here as the top pick ends up being the number 5, Wet and Wild, who will look to get going here on the grass, a surface that he is 1 for 4 on, but it's been a little bit since we've seen him win on the turf. Good luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's third race. Race 3 is a starter optional claimer for 3-year-olds and up, which have started for a claiming price of $5,000 or less in the last 2 years, or going for a claiming price of $10,000. We're sprinting 5 furlongs over the turf course and competing for a purse of $21,750. Race 3 offers win, place, show, exactor, 20-cent try, double, 20-cent super, 20-cent pick 3, and 20-cent late pick 4 wagering. Race 3 post parade, number 1 is Galveston. Ishmael Mosquera riding for trainer George Newland and owner Robin Osborne. Number 2 is Summer Snow. Helen Vanek in the saddle for trainer Julie Mathis and owners Joseph and Charles Lowakano. RCC Racing Stable own the number 3, Benny's Jets. Luis Contreras picks up the mount for trainer John Mattini. Away from parade, number 4, Naughty and Nice. Kirk Johnson riding for trainer Julie Mathis and owner John Brown. Lou Cappy owns and trains the number 5, Wet and Wild. The rider is Edgar Zenteno. Number 6 is Mia and Me. Juan Crawford pilots for trainer Joe Humber and owner Robert Elkins. Completing the field, number 7, Truly Mischief. Pierre Mailhot riding for trainer Claudia Rabstein and owner John Grinsteins. Late pick 4 wagering kicks off here in race 3. We are on the turf. Race 3 field is crossing on to the turf course. Not too much time to get those race 3 wagers in. Current favorite at 5-2 is the number 4, Naughty and Nice. Second choice is the stablemate, number 2, Summer Snow. The 2 mares favorite against the boys here. Field is crossing on to the turf course. Starting gate about to take position. Not much time left to get those race 3 wagers in. Race 3 field is behind the starting gate. It is now post time. They're going to load Naughty and Nice first. She's your 8-5 favorite. One of two mares in the field. Both mares sent out by trainer Julie Mathis. And both taking wagering support. Next in is Galveston with Ishmael Mascara. The gray mare, Summer Snow, Helen Vanek, looking to go a perfect 3 for 3 to start the day. Benny's Jets in from Woodbine with Luis Contreras, sorry. Wet and Wild with Edgar Zenteno to gate 5. 3-2 now on Naughty and Nice. Mia and Me with Juan Crawford. Last in will be Truly Mischief and Pierre Mailhot. All set. They're off. Lunging at the start, Mia and Me, speed from the inside from Summer Snow with Benny's Jets in the red blinkers. Galveston going to stalk from the rail. Naughty and Nice also vying for that lead with Truly Mischief out widest. It's a gap of 5 more lengths to Wet and Wild, and after the slow beginning, Mia and Me can see them all. Summer Snow gets loose on the lead under Helen Vanek. She's up by 2 as they race into the turn. Galveston is on the inside. Benny's Jets the center, and Truly Mischief 3 deep past an opening quarter in 21-4. Benny's Jets hard to handle now. Naughty and Nice is racing in 5th. Wet and Wild swings to the outside, and Mia and Me still trails. They reach the head of the lane. It's still Summer Snow clinging to the lead, but Galveston moving well down the outside. These two are 5 lengths clear of Truly Mischief. Wet and Wild trying to rally from the back. Galveston puts the head in front of Summer Snow, who's fighting on the inside. Wet and Wild splitting horses, but coming down to the wire. Galveston and Ishmael Mascara on top. Galveston a length to Summer Snow, then Wet and Wild. A photo for 4th between Naughty and Nice and Mia and Me. 57-4. Unofficial in race 3, the winner is number 1, Galveston. Second is the 2, Summer Snow. Third, number 5, Wet and Wild. It's a photo for 4th. Hold all tickets. In the 4th place photo, it's the number 4, Naughty and Nice. So your unofficial race 3 order is 1, 2, 5, 4. Now back in front of us in the winner's circle, the unofficial winner of today's third race, number 1, Galveston. Galveston is an 8-year-old bay gelding by silent name out of I Dream of Dixie, bred here in Ontario by C. Scott Abbott Racing Stable. Ridden victory today by Ishmael Mascara. Galveston is trained by George Newland for Robin Osborne. That's the 4th lifetime win in 49 starts for Galveston, who stalks the pace and bursts clear to win in the late yards, completing the about 5 furlong course in a time of 57-4. Congratulations to the connections of Galveston. Hold all tickets until race 3 is made official. Race 3 is now official. Prices are up. Galveston returns $11.20 to win, $5.40 and $3.90. Second, number 2, Summer Snow, $7 to place, $4.70. Third, number 5, Wet and Wild, $5.80 to show. $2 exacta, 1-2, $85.60. The $1 try, 125, $215.85. $1 super, 1254, $2,963.45. The $2 double, a pair of ones, $30.90. And the $1 pick 3, $38.85. On screen now, the 4th place photo from race 3. And we'd like to give a shout out to the Rivergate Academy. Visit rivergateacademy.ca for enrollment information. And a shout out to the Place Bar and Grill, sponsor of the Trackside Tiki Bar this year. The place to go after the races at 981 Garrison Road. Race 4 changes. A rider change on the number 1, American, of course. Make the rider Luis Reyes correct the weight to 124 pounds. Rider change on the number 4, Gamble on Love. Make the rider Steve Jadu. And Stewart scratch the number 6, Traves. 18 minutes to post.
Race 4 up next is a $4,000 claiming event for fillies and mares, and they'll compete here at 5.5 furlongs on the main track. We do have a key scratch here of the number 6, Traverse, which leads us with a field of 5. And it's going to be interesting to see how the pace dynamics unfold in here, because Traverse is out. There's a fair bit of speed in here, and they're only going 5.5, and not everyone can make the lead. And I do think it's going to come down to having that forward trip. I do go to the number 1, American, of course, as the top pick. This one goes out for Tony Adamo. You can see that they sent this one to the States for a little bit to compete at Mountaineer and then Mahoning Valley, and showed the speed 2 starts back, just surrendered there to finish 3rd. And then more recently, which isn't all that recent, December 8th, you can see this one was in for 5,000 and just wasn't as quick in that 10-horse field, and ended up finishing mid-pack. But here at Fort Erie has a win and has a 3rd from those 2 appearances. I think the inside draw works well, but there's something to be said about the win 3 back. I know it wasn't here, but this was a mare that was comfortable not being on the lead. So I liked seeing that, because some of the other horses we're going to talk about in here, they seem to be a little bit one-dimensional. So I just wonder if she can get forward enough and maybe mow down the likely pace setter. And I think the 3, Fracamore, has one way of going, and that is to the lead. She just really wants to be forward. That wasn't the case 2 starts back in that starter optional claiming event, but last time out while in for 7, they stretched her out to 1.70 miles. She was on the front end, and then she backed out of it. She doesn't want to go that far. Understand and respect taking a shot, because sometimes you catch a flyer and you go soft on the front end, but that wasn't the case. She did rattle off fractions of 22-4 and 46-2 going 1.70 miles. So it didn't look like it was going to work out for her, and it didn't. She cuts back. She drops in for 4,000, and go through her past performances, she hasn't been in this low. So this is significant class relief. I do think going long maybe sets her up well here for the cutback, and it's just going to come down to tactics. I mean, Kirks knows her very well. She really has to go in here, and we'll see if other speed tries to press her early on. Finally, from here, the number 4, Gamble on Lev. You're not going to see it in your past performances. She was scratched, listed as a steward scratch in that effort just about a week ago, and that was because there's no rider on her when she left the gate, so she didn't get to run her race. You're not going to see it there, but you would see it listed as a steward scratch in your Equibase charts or on the vet scratches that are available there on the steward's chart. We'll see what she can do in here. I did think she was going to be live in that spot. It's nice to see her come back here. Another one that drops a little bit. She was in for 6,000 last time out. She showed speed. I still think she might have needed a little bit of racing under her belt. She did have that gap between her races in the States and then returning to Canada. And she has races that make her credible, especially some of them where she's been able to stalk really nicely and make a move. So it's a tricky race to read. Plenty of speed signed on for this 5.5 furlong event. We'll find out which mare is able to add to their win column here in just a few moments. Good luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's fourth race. Race 4 is a claiming race for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up, which have not won a race in 2026 or which have never won 4 races. Going for a claiming price of $4,000, traveling a distance of 5 1/2 furlongs, competing for a purse of $15,300. Race 4 offers win, play, show, exactor, 20-cent try, double, 20-cent super, and 20-cent pick 3 wagering. Race 4 post parade, number 1 is American, of course. Luis Reyes picks up the mount for trainer Tony Adamo and owner Icon Racing Stables. Pan Am Racing own the number 2, Pop Chart. Alexis Sanchez rides for trainer Steve Cathcart. Number 3 is Frackamore. Kirk Johnson in the saddle for trainer Julie Mathis and owner David Mathis. Number 4 is Colebrook Farms, Gamble on Love. Steve Jadu picks up the mount for trainer Kevin Buttigieg. Completing the field, number 5, Zip Fire, Ishmael Mascara riding for owner-trainer George Newland. Scratch the 6, 2 minutes to post for race 4. Final chance to play a pick 3 on today's card. Starting gate about to move into position. Not too much time left to get your race 4 wagers in. 6-5 favorite, the number 1 American, of course. 7-2 support on both number 2 Pop Chart and 3 Frackamore. Final chance to play a pick 3 today. The starting gate is moving into its position. Fillies and Mares are behind the starting gate for today's 4th race. It is now post time. American, of course, still your even money favorite. It's going to be a field of 5 to kick off the final pick 3 of the day. First in will be the 9-year-old mare. American, of course, with Luis Reyes. Pop Chart with Alexis Sanchez to gate 2. The Gray, Frackamore with Kirk Johnson. Gamble on Love and Steve Jadu to come to gate 4. Gamble on Love goes in. Last up will be Zip Fire with Ishmael Mascara. Mascara looking for a back-to-back wins on the card. All set. They're off. Gamble on Love hopped up at the start, speed from the inside for American, of course, with Pop Chart second and Frackamore 3 deep. Then we have Gamble on Love, the slow starter, who's overtaken Zip Fire, the new trailer. 3 across the track, but it doesn't look like they're going too quick up front. It's American, of course, with a neck advantage, Pop Chart in the center, and Frackamore widest. Steve Jadu has Gamble on Love in a good position in 4th, about 2.5 lengths off the lead, and the trailer is Zip Fire, Mascara, going to have to come from last. 22 and 3 for the opening quarter. They approach the 5.5 furlong pole. Reyes lets American, of course, out a notch. She's opened up 2. Gamble on Love dancing on the inside of Pop Chart. Frackamore has had the widest trip, and Zip Fire still at the back. At the top of the stretch, it's American, of course, and Luis Reyes moving well. They've opened up 3. Frackamore down the far outside with Pop Chart, who's trying. Gamble on Love calls it quits, and Zip Fire still trails. 16th to go. American, of course, well clear coming down to the wire. American, American, of course, much the best. The 9-year-old mare, American, of course, and Luis Reyes win by 2.5 over Pop Chart, Frackamore, Zipfire, and Gamble on Love. 5.5 and 105 and 1. Unofficial in race 4, the winner is number 1, American, of course. Second, number 2, Pop Chart. Third, number 3, Frackamore. And fourth, number 5, Zipfire. Unofficial race 4 order, 1, 2, 3, 5. Back in front of us, returning to the winner's circle, the unofficial winner of today's 4th race, number 1, American, of course. American, of course, is a 9-year-old chestnut mare by Awesome, of course, out of Indy Standard, bred in Florida by Jack's or Better Farm. Ridden to victory today by Luis Reyes. American, of course, is trained by Tony Adamo for Icon Racing Stables. That's the 10th lifetime win in 39 starts for American, of course, her first start and first win of the 2026 season. Cruising in to complete the 5.5 furlongs in a winning time of 105 and 1. Congratulations to the connections of American, of course. Hold all tickets until race 4 is made official. Race 4 is now official. Prices are up. American, of course, $370 to win, $250 and $220. Second, number 2, Pop Chart, $380 to place, $240. Third, number 3, Frackamore, $320 to show. $2 exacta, 1-2, 11.10. The $1 try, 1-2-3, 14.90. $1 super, 1-2-3-5, 25.85. $2 double, a pair of ones, $24.30. $1 pick 3, $29.95, and the $1 early pick 4, $84.50. We had a claim out of race 4, the number 5 Zip Fire, claimed by owner Alton Robotham, moves to the barn of trainer Claudia Rabstein. And we'd like to say a very happy birthday to Adrian, celebrating here with us today. Happy birthday, Adrian, from all of your friends and family here at Fort Erie Racetrack. And we'd like to say thank you to FINA Insurance, who's partnered with us this season at Fort Erie. FINA, we'll see you through to the finish line. Contact info on screen now. Race 5 changes. A rider change on the number 1, Firecracker Fiona, make the rider Luis Contreras. Rider change on the number 3, Brengan Girl, make the rider Juan Crawford. 20 minutes to post for race 5.
Late double time here in race number 5. It's for fillies and mares, an allowance event for non-winners of 3 life. They'll compete at 5.5 furlongs on the main track. Just a couple of rider changes in here. The 1, Firecracker Fiona, will now be ridden by Luis Contreras, and then the 3, Brengan Girl, now will be ridden by Juan Crawford. It's a pretty interesting way to kick off this race because there's a couple of horses that maybe they'll need another race under their belt, but they certainly have the ability. You have others that didn't necessarily fare well last time out for a variety of reasons, missing the break, and others that you just feel like they are getting into form and getting a little bit better with each start. So really nice way to kick things off here. We'll see who's able to get the job done. I thought the 7, One Jab Too Many, was the filly to look at a little bit. She does have a race under her belt where I do feel like she probably needed that race back on June 13th up at Woodbine, where she was in for 14,000. It was non-winners of 3 life, and she never really got going, but her prior effort was all the way back in August, and she ran a heck of a race here, and it was allowance event, non-winners of 2 life. I thought she got a beautiful trip that day, going 6.5 to stalk the pace, and just ended up being much the best. She drew clear easily in there. She got a 64 buyer. I like that she was able to get a forward position. Do I necessarily love 5.5 for her? No, but I still think if she's ready to roll, second off the freshening, she could be very effective here. And just looking at her physically, you always want to see horses that as they age, they take on a little bit more form. And I thought she looked great here getting saddled. I saw her for a little bit when she walked in. She looks better at 4 than she did at 3. So a lot of positive signs here for the number 7, One Jab Too Many. The number 4, Speedy Lady. She fits the bill of the horse that I think is just getting a little bit better with each start. Her return to the races, she wasn't able to be as quick early on, and rightfully so. Supergirl would come back to win, but look at the fractions in there, 21-3 and 44-2 to the half. And Speedy Lady in her own right is quick, but those were really wicked fractions, and she couldn't keep up. So after that, brought her right back. They put her in that allowance for non-winners of 3 life at the 6 furlong distance, and she was just second best behind Mo Maxey. But I thought it was a really improved performance. I know you're still getting beaten by nearly 10 lengths, but I wouldn't read into that too much. I do think she finds herself in a spot here where she can be more effective forward early on, and if that's the case, she could be a little dangerous here. Been very, very consistent over the main track. Then finally, the number 1, Firecracker Fiona, she goes to the case of maybe things didn't go right for her last time out. She just missed the break. She was far off of it. I thought she lost all chances from the get-go, and I'm not even going to look into the race other than that. What I am going to go back to is her races historically and look at some of the speed that she showed. She showed the ability to stalk and pass horses, which to me is one of the best assets that you can have. A horse that is not one-dimensional. If there's a ton of pace, you just let them go. We kind of saw something similar in the prior race here where I thought it was a beautiful ride to let the other pace press, and you just hold and maintain your position when you know you have a good horse. So I think that could be the case here with Firecracker Fiona, especially considering she's on the inside. I think she could get a sweet trip as well, but as I mentioned, she did have problems last time out. She can't afford to do that once again today. So best of luck here in the late double. It doesn't get necessarily easy in the nightcap. We have a very nice 7 furlong turf event for the starter optional claiming type, so best of luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's fifth race. Race 5 is an allowance race for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 3 races, traveling a distance of 5 1/2 furlongs, competing for a purse of $25,050. Race 5 offers win, place, show, exactor, 20-cent try, double, and 20-cent superfecta wagering. Race 5 post parade, number 1 is Firecracker Fiona. Luis Contreras picks up the mount for trainer Mickey Neubauer and owners Carl Norris and Todd Brown. Number 2 is Leasiate. Deshaun Bino pilots for trainer Desmond Maynard and owners Dwayne Newsom and Lisa Jean Ryan. Number 3 is Brengan Girl. Juan Crawford picks up the mount for trainer Joe Humber and owners Glenn Sakura and Mario Serrani. Six Brothers Stable on the number 4, Speedy Lady. Ishmael Mascara rides for trainer Ken Albu. Number 5 is Silent Patsy. Steve Jadu in the irons for trainer Valerie Thompson and owner Scott Simmons. 6 is Sky Divine. Brian Shane riding for trainer Julie Mathis and owner David Mathis. Number 7 is One Jab Too Many, Pierre Mailhot riding for trainer Claudia Rabstein and owner John Grinsteins. Completing the field, number 8, Proud Mischief, Kirk Johnson rides for trainer Mike Blake and owner Amanda Enns. 2 minutes to post for race 5, late double wagering offered here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a few winners in the non-winning ticket prize draws to announce. Could Pete A., Roy Derisbury, and Elaine please head to customer service? Once again, that's Pete A., Roy Derisbury, and Elaine. Congratulations, you have won today's non-winning ticket prize draw. Please head to customer service to collect your prize. Starting gate is moving to position for today's fifth race. Not too much time left to get your wagers in. Current favorite at 8-5 is the number 3 Brengan Girl. 7-2 on the number 1 Firecracker Fiona. Race 5 field is behind the starting gate. It is now post time. Brengan Girl, still favored at 9-5. First in is Firecracker Fiona with Luis Contreras. Leasy 8 with Deshaun Bino. Brengan Girl and Juan Crawford to gate 3. Gate 4 for Speedy Lady and Ishmael Mascara. Silent Patsy and Steve Jadu. Sky Divine and Brian Shane. One Jab Too Many and Pierre Mailhot. Last in will be Proud Mischief and Kirk Johnson. All set. Looks like they had to shut the front of the gate on, might have been Silent Patsy. Tough to tell from my angle. Starters back in position. We're all set for race 5. They're off. Very good beginning. One Jab Too Many out well. Early speed from Leasy 8 and Speedy Lady splitting foes. Much better start this time for Firecracker Fiona, racing 4th on the inside. 3 parts of a length better than Brengan Girl, who's in contention. It's a gap of 3 to Proud Mischief, racing on the far outside with Silent Patsy in the center and Sky Divine on the rail. They race to the 3.5 furlong pole. Into the turn they go. It's Leasy 8 battling with Speedy Lady and One Jab Too Many. Firecracker Fiona in very good position from 4th. She's opened up 2.5 lengths on Brengan Girl. Then it's another 3 to Silent Patsy with Proud Mischief to her outside, and Sky Divine is the trailer. They race to the 2 furlong marker. The opening quarter was 22-2. It's One Jab Too Many. Mailhot in the green cap with a short lead over Leasy 8. Firecracker Fiona has swung to the far outside and is making up ground. Speedy Lady's tired. Brengan Girl tries to rally. Firecracker Fiona ranging up to the outside of a stubborn One Jab Too Many. One Jab Too Many battles back, and One Jab Too Many proves best. One Jab Too Many, a length to Firecracker Fiona. Brengan Girl might have just got 3rd from Leasy 8. Then Silent Patsy, Speedy Lady, Proud Mischief, and Sky Divine. 104-4. Unofficial in race 5, the winner is number 7, One Jab Too Many. Second, number 1, Firecracker Fiona. It's a photo for show. Hold all tickets. In the show photo, it's the number 3 Brengan Girl over the number 2 Leasy 8. Race 5 unofficial order is 7-1-2-3. Now back in front of us, coming to the winner's circle, is your unofficial race 5 winner, number 7, One Jab Too Many. One Jab Too Many is a 4-year-old chestnut filly by Reload out of Belcaires. Bred here in Ontario by Denny Andrews and Niall Brennan. Ridden to victory today by Pierre Mailhot. One Jab Too Many is trained by Claudia Rabstein for John Grinsteins. 3rd lifetime win in 14 starts for One Jab Too Many. She's now 2 for 2 over the Fort Erie Dirt. She prevails in the stretch battle and completes the 5.5 furlong course in a time of 104-4. Congratulations to the connections of One Jab Too Many. Hold all tickets until race 5 is made official. Race 5 is now official. Prices are up. One Jab Too Many pays $12.40 to win, $6.40 and $4. Second, number 1, Firecracker Fiona, $6.70 to place, $3.70. Third, number 3, Brengan Girl, $2.50 to show. $2 exacta, 7-1, $74 even. The $1 try, 7-1-3, $120, 20 cents. $1 super, 7-1-3-2, $291.95. $2 double, 1-7, 45.10. And the $1 pick 3, 82.70. On screen now, the show photo from race 5. And if you're coming to the races tomorrow, be sure to stick around for a free concert at the Tiki Bar after the last, featuring Cottage Brew. And the fan favorite Wiener Dog races are coming up soon this Sunday, July 12th. As always, admission will be free. Be sure to come out for the Wiener Dogs. Race 6 changes. Rider change on the number 3, Heat Merchant, make the rider Edgar Zenteno. Number 5, Silent Miracle, an overweight, 1 pound over at 122. Rider change on the number 6, Quiet Intent, make the rider Luis Reyes, correct that weight to 122 pounds. Corrected weight on the number 7, Mannix, correct that weight to 122 pounds. And take out the main track onlys, number 8, Sterling Castle, and number 9, Forest Flash. 18 minutes to post for the nightcap. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a late rider change here in the 6th race. The number 1, Gus's Gamble, will now be ridden by Steve Jadu. Brian Shane is off. Put Steve Jadu on the number 1, Gus's Gamble, here in race 6.
We round things out here on the turf course. A really nice starter optional claiming event at about 7 furlongs for the Colton Geldings. And we do have a slew of rider changes on the 3 Heat Merchant. Make the rider Edgar Zenteno. On the 6, Quiet Intent, make it Luis Reyes, who's already had a win on the program. And then also a late change being announced here on the number 1, Gus's Gamble. The rider in here will be Steve Jadu. So a nice turf race to end this out. You get the kind of the hardier types here that are veterans. And when you look at the body of work so far for the number 7, Mannix, it's hard to get by him, at least on the top spot. He has been sensational in both of those performances. Yes, he lost his return to the races, but the very classy J.P. Hellish was able to get the job done. He was the favorite in there, and you can see the trip from Mannix that day. He was pretty forward. He wanted to get into a forward position. I thought it was a great ride that day from Juan Crawford. And then Kirk Johnson climbed aboard in that most recent outing. Different tactics. This horse was further off of it and seemed comfortable rolling from the back. Was actually early on. So love that he is just hardy like that and can kind of run from where he's placed. I do love the outside draw for him. Feel like he can stay out of trouble. And, you know, Kirk can just decide the trip that they want to get in here based on what the speed decides to do. So Mannix is the top pick. A couple of others, though, to give a look to. The number 3, Heat Merchant. Liked him on the turf last time out. He was second behind Mannix, and he tried to roll from the back as well. He wasn't as far off of it. He just came up second best. And looking at him, I mean, always been a big fan of him, especially down at Fort Erie. He can run on the dirt. He can run on the turf in terms of trips. I think he could be maybe in the right spot where he won't be too far off of it, but he does need to take a step forward. I mean, he has to face Mannix again. It's not necessarily going to be easy. And, in terms of where the speed's drawn, I think a little bit of the speed comes to his outside. So we'll see how that fares for him. And then finally, the number 1, Gus's Gamble. He's my long shot in here to use. I mean, he shows up. He is 8 for 11 in the money over this turf course, and you look at him last time out, and even his start this year. I mean, he's third in both of them, but it's not his preferred surface. They were dirt races, and I still liked that he was able to roll. Silent Miracle was able to win that race most recently, where Gus's Gamble was defeated by a length, but different trips and just a wet main track. Getting back onto the grass, this is his preferred surface. He wants to go long. We've seen him relish these 2-turn races here, and I just think if he's able to save ground on the inside, maybe also with that in mind, he won't be so far off of it, and a horse that could really kind of sneak in there at a nice price into the trifecta. But for me, I do go to the favorite like everyone else in here, the 7, Mannix, as the top pick. Good luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's sixth and final race. Race 6 is a starter optional claiming race for 3-year-olds and up, which have started for a claiming price of $5,000 or less in the last 2 years, or going for a claiming price of $10,000. We're traveling about 7 furlongs over the turf course, competing for a purse of $21,750. Race 6 offers win, play, show, exactor, 20-cent try, 20-cent super, and 20-cent jackpot high five, with a carryover of $3,900. Race 6 post parade, number 1 is Gus's Gamble. Steve Jadu picks up the mount for trainer Ken Albu and owner Six Brothers Stable. Number 2 is Star Scholar. Juan Crawford in the saddle for trainer John Sims, who owns in partnership with Denise Carpenter. Number 3 is Heat Merchant. Edgar Zenteno picks up the mount for trainer Paula Loescher and owner Christopher Colaleo. Number 4 is Fast and Ready, racing for Jeannie Ryan. Deshaun Bino rides for trainer Danny Wills. Number 5 is Silent Miracle. Ishmael Mascara in the saddle for trainer Jeff Voice and owner Robin Voice. Tino Attard owns and trains the number 6, Quiet Intent. Luis Reyes picks up the mount. Completing the field, number 7, Mannix. Kirk Johnson riding for owner-trainer Gary Chidobiak. Jackpot high five wagering offered here. 2 minutes to post for the nightcap. We are on the turf. Field is making their way onto the turf course as the starting gate takes position. Not much time left to get your race 6 wagers in. $3,900 in the jackpot high five carryover. 8-5 on the number 7 Mannix. 3-1 support on the number 6 Quiet Intent. Get those race 6 wagers in. Race 6 field is behind the starting gate. It is now post time. Mannix, still your favorite at 7-5. They've backed in Gus's Gamble, as they normally do. Steve Jadu to climb back aboard. Rest of the field ready to begin loading. Star Scholar and Juan Crawford to gate 2. The gray Heat Merchant with Edgar Zenteno. Gus's Gamble a bit fractious in the gate. Heat Merchant fractious behind. Heat Merchant comes up without the rider. Edgar Zenteno to climb back aboard. Fast and Ready with Deshaun Bino. Silent Miracle with Ishmael Mascara. Nope, Fast and Ready backs out. Goes in. Now Silent Miracle will take his place. Quiet Intent with Luis Reyes, looking for his second win on the card. Last in will be your 7-5 favorite Mannix with Kirk Johnson. All set. And they're off. A good beginning. Silent Miracle out well from the center with Fast and Ready and Star Scholar all showing speed. Quiet Intent looking to work his way to the inside. He's racing on the flank of Heat Merchant with Mannix out wide. The early trailer is Gus's Gamble. Pretty compact field of 7, about 5 lengths front to back as they make the opening turn. The lead belongs to Star Scholar, just ahead to Silent Miracle. Heat Merchant is taken back to a good spot in third with Fast and Ready between horses. Mannix out 3 deep. A gap of 2 to Quiet Intent, who's racing near the back, and Gus's Gamble is the trailer. 24 seconds and 1/5 for the opening quarter. The battle continues. Star Scholar and Crawford on the inside of Silent Miracle and Mascara, who now go on to lead 3 parts of a length. Mannix moving well in third. Heat Merchant is fourth, saving ground. Then we have Fast and Ready, who's fallen back, racing on the outside of Quiet Intent, who's moving well along the rail. Gus's Gamble has trailed throughout. Midway around the far turn, the half was 47 seconds flat. It's Silent Miracle and Ishmael Mascara up 1.5. Star Scholar is still sticking around in second. Mannix is beginning to stall. Room up the inside for Heat Merchant. Here we've got Gus's Gamble, who's swung to the far outside with Fast and Ready. Silent Miracle getting tired. Here's Star Scholar. Quiet Intent, Mannix. Gus's Gamble from the back. It's Star Scholar on top. Quiet Intent and Gus's Gamble both closing. Quiet Intent surging, but Star Scholar holds on. Star Scholar over Quiet Intent, then Heat Merchant, Gus's Gamble, Mannix, 124-1. Unofficial in race 6, the winner is number 2, Star Scholar. Second, number 6, Quiet Intent. Third, number 3, Heat Merchant. Fourth, number 1, Gus's Gamble. Fifth was number 7, Mannix. Unofficial race 6 order, 2-6-3-1-7. Back in front of us in the winner's circle is the official winner of today's 6th race, number 2, Star Scholar. Star Scholar is an 8-year-old dark bay or brown gelding by Society's chairman out of Call Me Baby, bred here in Ontario by Danny Pagliaroli. Ridden to victory today by Juan Crawford, Star Scholar is trained by John Sims, who owns in partnership with Denise Carpenter. 4th lifetime win for Star Scholar, who holds on at the wire to complete the about 7 furlong distance in a time of 1:24.1. Congratulations to the connections of Star Scholar. Race 6 is official. Prices are up. Star Scholar, 10-10 to win, 5-10 and 340. Second, number 6, Quiet and Tent, 730 to place, 360. Third, number 3, Heat Merchant, 330 to show. $2 exacta, 2.6, 68.40. The $1 try, 263, $215.60. $1 super, 263.1, $924.05. 20-cent high five, 26317, returned $347.55. Multiple winning tickets in the high five, so the carryover grows. Tomorrow's carryover, $5,089.42. $2 double, 7-2, 102.30. $1 pick 3, $105.80. $1 late pick 4, $774.10. And the $1 pick 5 today returned $1,051.50. Jackpot High Five carryover is growing. Tomorrow's carryover, $5,089.42. Visit our website, FortErieRacing.com, for information about everything going on here at the track. We're back tomorrow at Fort Erie. Post time is 4:30. Tune into the pre-race show for info about the track conditions, scratches and changes, handicapping, and info about upcoming races and events. If you're coming out tomorrow, be sure to stick around after the last race for a free concert at the Tiki Bar featuring Cottage Brew. The Wiener Dog races are coming up this Sunday, July 12th. Be sure to come out for the fan favorite event. Fort Erie is proud to partner with Oneida New Holland of Niagara. We'd like to thank them for providing us with a tractor for our racetrack maintenance. And a shout out to our partners at True Green Professional Lawn Care, who have been helping us keep the grass looking green and lush. Tune into Your TV Niagara for the Fort Erie Race Replay Show, Channel 70 HD or 100 Epico, Thursdays at 10:30, Saturdays at 4, and Sundays at noon. And that concludes the Monday action here from Fort Erie Racetrack. We'd like to thank everybody who joined us here today. Be sure to come out tomorrow for another 6-race card and the free concert from Cottage Brew. From all of us here at Fort Erie Racetrack, enjoy the rest of your Monday night.